Olá, bem-vindos todos vocês. Hoje eu estou aqui nesse monumento histórico que é a Catedral de Brasília e vou falar aqui, vamos filmar aqui com a delegação do Reino do Bahrein, que está no Brasil para lançar a declaração do rei Hamad Al Khalifa. So, Miss Betty, you're very welcome here in Brasília. We are in the Brasília Cathedral. It's a very important monument here. And I would like you to explain to our audience about the Christianity in Bahrain. Tell us everything, all the information you have, please.
Well, I'm honored to be here in this beautiful, rotund Cathedral of Brasília. And thank you, Fabiana, for welcoming us so warmly. First of all, we want to tell the people of Brazil how much we love you. The warmth of your welcome since we arrived in Bahrain has overwhelmed us and touched our hearts. We see here in Brazil, as in the Kingdom of Bahrain, all faiths, all ethnicities, all cultures live together as one family. And this is the philosophy of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, that all people of the world are one family. The history of Christianity in Bahrain stretches back to the 4th century, when the Nestorian Christians were being persecuted by the Byzantine Empire. And so they fled to the Kingdom of Bahrain for refuge and safety. And since those days, they built a community there. They had a church, they had a cathedral, they had a bishop. And today in modern Bahrain, millennia later, we have areas of Bahrain which are called after the monk or after the bishop. And those villages retain those names today. But modern Christianity in the Kingdom of Bahrain really began under the reign of the late ruler, His Highness Sheik Isa bin Ali Al Khalifa, who in 1891 received a group of missionaries from the United States of America. And he then granted them the license for the very first church, not in the Kingdom of Bahrain only, but in the whole of the Gulf region. So Bahrain had the first Protestant church, which came into being in 1893. They also opened a Christian bookshop in 1893, and the American Mission Hospital, a Christian hospital. These three things still exist today, and they serve all communities in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And the faith school, which was established, which was called the Acorn School, was a Christian school. Today it's called Al Raja School, and it's still one of the most notable schools in Bahrain. So the history of Christianity in Bahrain has been very strong, and even today in our region, when we have Christians who are being persecuted for their beliefs, who are being murdered in some cases, attacked with violence and hate speech, churches and cathedrals are being demolished by those with intolerance. But in the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa continues those centuries upon centuries of religious freedom. And Bahrain is building the largest cathedral ever built in the whole of the Arabian Peninsula on land donated by His Majesty the King. And it's called Our Lady of Arabia Cathedral, and we hope it will be inaugurated very soon in the first quarter of next year.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you very much for your explanations, and I hope you have a safe trip back home, and come back one day to Brazil to visit us.
Well, we would love to, but we would also like to invite everyone from Brazil to visit us in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And we send to you from the bottom of our hearts our message of peace and love from the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Thank you very much. Same to you and to your people. Thank you very much. Então eu falei agora com a senhora Betsy Mathiesson. Reiterando, ela é a vice-presidente da organização King Hamad Global Center.